Warning, the following contains spoilers for the movie Captain America Civil War. Do not watch this if you have not already seen the movie. Continue if you don't care or you have seen the movie and you like to hear my opinion. As always, thanks for watching and enjoy. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to YottaVolte. I'm your host, YottaVolte, and today I am sort of a react/responding sort of situation to just seeing initial reactions and stuff to Captain America Civil War, which I just saw. And first of all, apologies for any outside audio that you might hear. I am currently back home, and my parents are having my mother is having a get-together with some of her friends and stuff, so I'm currently recording in the basement, and so you might pick them up there. Hopefully they're not too loud. Hopefully this basement's quiet enough. Also, because movie's just out and stuff, you're basically just going to be seeing still images that I'm going to pull off Google, so not to get any kind of a copyright strike or anything like that. So without further ado, here we go. So, the first thing I thought was, when the movie ended was, oh, by the way, spoilers. If you didn't already catch a spoiler warning, that started this video. So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about things in the movie that are not just shown in the trailers. So, again, spoiler warning. We got that through? Okay. Anyways, so, first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, this was amazing. And second thought was, oh my gosh, this movie is so freaking long. The movie that I went to started about 3:45. I got out of the theater at 6:30. Nearly a 3-hour movie. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking long. But I definitely say it was worth waiting and sitting all that time. So, I'm sure you're aware, the initial premise of the movie is that Captain America is trying to protect Bucky, who is being sort of a wrongly accused situation of a bombing. Cap believes he's innocent and all that stuff. Everyone else kind of doesn't think that. And also, there's the thing going on with the Accords, how the superheroes need checks and balances because of all the collateral damage that happens during their event. Brings up the events of the original Avengers, Age of Ultron, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I think it was just those 3 parts that it brings up. It might have brought up more. I can't recall off the top of my head. Anyway, so yeah. In case you missed it on my social medias, I was Team Iron Man when I went in, and when I came out, I am still Team Iron Man. I definitely agree that superheroes, those with power, need some checks and balances. Otherwise, things can go horribly, horribly wrong, even if they don't intend it. So, anyway, continuing on with what I initially thought when coming out of the movie, obviously Ant-Man's in it, as it was teased at the end of Ant-Man, and Spider-Man's in it, as you could tell from the trailer that, everybody was excited about. The thing is that they're only there for the airport fight scene, and that's really it. And that kind of made me a bit sad, because I kind of wanted them to have more interaction with things, but afterwards they just kind of disappeared. What happened to the mouse situation? Same thing actually sort of happened with Hawkeye when he came back out of retirement and all that stuff, but I mean, they show him later. Ant-Man's shown later as well. Granted, he's in prison, doesn't have a suit and stuff. Oh, during the fight, we also get to see the Giant Man, which is giant version of Ant-Man, and it is phenomenal. He definitely shows himself to be very, very powerful when it comes to this kind of situation. In fact, it takes literally 3 people and strategy from Star Wars, I am not kidding, to take him down. Just him. Also, Black Panther gets put into this movie. I definitely think it was an odd choice to bring in Black Panther, considering how he doesn't really have any previous Marvel movie history. Granted, Spider-Man also kind of doesn't. And this is a very different Spider-Man than the previous 2 iterations of Spider-Man. The ones where he can originally shoot the webbing out of his own wrists. I can't remember which one, but I can't remember. I know it's the one where he's fighting Green Goblin. That's the main antagonist for that one. And then the other ones, the more recent ones, like The Amazing Spider-Man, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he fights the electric guy. Never saw it, but it's different because this one's still only like 15. He's still got a handmade costume, and it's definitely not like any of the other ones in the other movies. So, I mean, that was interesting. The scene with him and Tony Stark, I think, kind of went on a bit longer than it sort of needed to be, but there was definitely some parts that drove it home that I think it was alright. It probably didn't need to be as long as it did. Another thing is that there was a lot of very, very touching moments. Both sides, both Team Cap and Team Iron Man, took some pretty heavy hits emotionally. Definitely some physically. War Machine. Forgive me for using their superhero names. I'm not as familiar as using their regular names as their superhero names are, since it's more iconic. Rhodes, I believe. Yeah, he gets kind of. Is not really paralyzed. He gets a little crippled. He gets crippled, and he has to walk using this special suit thing that Iron Man makes him. What irony! But there's definitely a lot of emotional damage to Tony. You can really see as he's going through everything in this movie just how much the 3 Iron Man movies and the 2 Avengers movies have just done a number on him. And I mean, it's painful. It is very, very painful. And unfortunately, it's something I can almost relate to. I haven't actually lost my parents, as I told you, but just the fact that you always want to try to do right and save people, and just the impact that what you're doing has, even the unforeseen ones, it really drives it home. And you can, the acting in this movie is phenomenal. I just love it, and you can really feel the pain and heartbreak in Tony, especially after what happens to Rhodes during the airport scene fight. And then at the very end, the fight between Captain America, Bucky, and Iron Man, it's so heartbreaking about what happens with Tony. I mean, he's losing one of his best friends. He learns that freaking Bucky actually is the one who murdered his parents. Big hit to him. Where originally he was okay. He was just like, okay, I understand. I was wrong. Bucky didn't cause the bombing. Okay, I understand. Well, cool. Let's get the real guy. Bad guy. And then the real bad guy shows him the video, which somehow there was video footage of Bucky killing Howard Stark and I can't remember Tony's mother's name, but his mom killing, and then you just see Iron Man just go ballistic. And it's so painful to witness, because you can just feel the pain coming from Tony, and the same pain actually comes from Captain America. God, I keep getting these mixed. From Captain America, as he's trying to protect one of his best friend who's been wrongly accused of things, and who keeps being forced to do things because he's still got the brainwashing from being the Winter Soldier and all the crap that Hydra did to him. So he's going through that trouble, and Captain's just trying to keep him safe. He wants his best friend alive and safe, and everything that he has to go through, endure, and trying to get the real bad. Side note. Let's talk about the bad guy who, out of all the movies we've seen them fight in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've seen Tony lose control of his company, have his own armor used against him in the first movie. Then in the second movie, oh my god, wow, that blanked me. Second movie, we see him again, sort of his own sort of suit design come back at him. Then with Electro Whip, or whatever his name is, the Russian guy. And then in the third movie, we see the freaking fire guys, who can just now we can shoot, breathe fire, we basically can't be killed. Well, we can't. Oh, you tear off any of our limbs? Yeah, we'll just regrow it back. Captain America, not so much in the sci-fi fantical situation. I mean, we see him fight Red Skull, who for some reason can just tear the skin off his face, be completely fine with it. Fighting the super soldiers and everything. Fighting Bucky again in Winter Soldier. We see them fighting the alien races in the Avengers, as well as Loki, who honestly didn't really put up too much of a fight. He wasn't really a fight. He was more of a utility, in a sense. And then an army of robots that was, in a sense, built by Tony. Seeing all that awesome science fantasy kind of situations, and then this person, God, I keep forgetting his name, but because he doesn't really have like a supervillain kind of name, because that's the thing, he's not a supervillain. He's just a regular guy on the path of revenge, and it works. I mean, it tears Iron Man and Captain America apart. It basically rips apart the Avengers. I mean, things are just... He broke them. He managed to break them. And he even acknowledges it, which is just phenomenal. Think about how these powered up people who have defeated gods and legions of drones, high-powered robotic drones, are all just taken down and turned against each other by one single man on a mission. It is incredible. But, despite all these dark moments and everything, it's not without its laughs. Especially having, Spider-Man in it. You definitely get a lot of laughs and good hilarious scenes, despite all the serious tones of the movie. You definitely mainly happens during the airport scene when you have Spider-Man, who is 15, just going around making jokes and stuff. Because even I don't think it was it was either Bucky. Yeah, I think it was Bucky who Spider-Man had him tied down and was trying to talk to him, and Bucky's just response, "This is a fight. There's not supposed to be that much talking." Oh, Spider-Man's just like, "Oh, sorry," and they just go back to fighting, and it's hilarious. There are some other really good scenes. There's not really some good one-liners and stuff, but a aside from that, the movie has a very kind of serious tone to it, and you definitely feel that things are no longer like happy, funny, in a sense, like they sort of were. Everything is deadly serious. There's very, very little that's to be joked about. One of the things that I do, sort of, almost in a sense, regret, or it wasn't there, was in the trailers, you hear Tony say, "You just started a war." Unfortunately, that never gets spoken in the movie, which I would have liked to see it happen somehow, but I'll be honest, it wasn't really too much of a war. It was honestly really just a fight in an airport, and that was it. It's mainly just Iron Man versus Captain America and Bucky. It's not anything. It's not any kind of a grand scale war, because after the fight in the airport, both sides again took heavy hits. Basically, all of Team Captain is locked away in prison with all this stuff taken away. Meanwhile, most of Team Iron Man are sort of taken out. Natasha, Black Widow, is kind of, her loyalty is a bit weird. Sometimes she's with Iron Man, sometimes she's with Captain. I'm not really sure. Spider-Man just kind of disappears. He just gets downed, and that's it. He doesn't die. He's wounded. Iron Man even makes a remark about him staying down. He's out. Spider-Man tries to get up, but he just sort of collapses from the exhaustion. Doesn't go unconscious. He just falls down. Just yeah, I'm out. Yeah. Vision is sort of... Vision, I don't really know what happened to Vision. He just sort of was there. He was fighting, mainly fighting Scarlet Witch, and also trying to fight Falcon, because he was the only one who... Well, no, he wasn't really the only one, but he was mainly one of their flyers and stuff. And so, afterwards, he's just kind of gone from that situation. We know what happens to Rhodes is he gets crippled from a spinal injury. Yeah, I think that's all of Team Iron Man. So really, Iron Man was really the only one left to fight against Captain and Bucky. And speaking of Captain, his shield. First of all, we actually get to see it take damage. Like, the shield is actively damaged, and it persists. It's not just it was there one moment and then it's later gone. No, it is there throughout the entire movie. Well, the remainder of the movie after it happens. It happens when Black Panther, who his suit and claws are made out of vibranium, actually damage the shield. And Spider-Man actually hilariously makes a remark about the shield when Cap's throwing it around at him. Spider-Man's just like, that does not obey the laws of physics. But another cool thing was seeing Spider-Man actually managed to actively fight Captain America and do a good number, because we actually get to see some intelligent fighting in this. And what I mean by intelligent fighting is, whenever you see Captain America fighting or anything like that, the bad guys always shoot above his waist, where his shield is. And they wonder why it doesn't work. Or even more confusing, by shooting against Bucky, who he doesn't have a shield, he has an arm, and he's still able to block freaking bullets. Iron Man gives Spider-Man the advice of, go for Captain's legs. And it actually works for the most part, until, Spider-Man actually gets up close. And, well, actually, I think he does, for the most part. He's winning until Scarlet Witch comes in and just shoves him aside. But you see a lot of the intelligent fighting. You get you actually see fighting strategies. Ant-Man throws one of his growing discs into the air, and there's a shrunken truck that he gives Captain, and he just tells Captain, throw this at this while he's holding up his disc. Throws the disc, Captain throws the truck, and the truck just expands towards War Machine, and War Machine's just like, oh, come on. And it's, oh, it was beautiful. Not exactly entirely still the best tactics thing. Like, they sort of, in a sense, recognize what Captain and Team Iron Man sort of recognized what Captain and Bucky were going for, so they could have, at least, they could have destroyed the jet a bit more, which would have made more sense instead of trying to, like, cut off their path. Let's just destroy the jet. Funny enough, it was the side reinforcements who actually did the best fighting. Lang, Ant-Man, he takes full advantage of being able to go small, and, like, to an extent, he, like, manages to fight Black Widow, who, obviously, when fighting against a small target, you really can't do too much. Most of Natasha's fighting doesn't help. Then he disables a lot of Iron Man's weaponry and stuff by getting to go inside his suit and just rip things apart, which was hilarious. And tactical. And then, of course, I talked about Giant Man. So, that was definitely good. Wow. Talked for about 20 minutes. Anyways, so, my verdict, I loved the movie. It was amazing. And, of course, the Stan Lee cameo is just hilarious. Stan Lee always had, like, the best cameo in his movies. This one, he's giving a package to Tony, and it's just like, is this for Tony Stank? Oh, it was great seeing him show up. But, the ending is where I have a little, not exactly a problem, but little tad bit of an issue, is the way that it ends is just, it ends on a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger ending of a movie. And with the thing for the Avengers not coming out anytime soon, it leaves me wanting, and that's a good thing. That it makes me want to continue to see future movies. I know the most recent, not exactly most recent, but the next Marvel movie coming out is Doctor Strange, which I'm not honestly too sure if I'm gonna watch it or not. It's sort of a toss-up. I don't really know how it'll impact the MCU, if at all, but yeah, I mean, it could tease for the Infinity Wars. Also, in this Civil War, no real talk about Thanatos, nothing about that yet, because it wasn't really an Avengers movie, despite having all the Avengers. Well, okay, no, it didn't have all the Avengers. Thor's still off in Asgard, I believe. Never really saw Thor: The Dark World, so I don't know how that ended. And we don't see nothing on the Hulk. So, he's still MIA, so still nothing about him. But, yeah, it was definitely a very, very good movie. I recommend giving it a watch. This has just been my personal opinions, and I think it was just phenomenal. The choreography, the music, just everything about that was incredible. And so, if you get a chance, go and watch it. I almost guarantee that you won't regret it if you love things by the Marvel movies. So, that's about it. So, thanks everyone so much for watching. Roll the outro. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this, leave a like and a comment. If you want to stay updated for more videos, why not subscribe to my channel? Want to see my Smash online? Then click the Smash icon. And if you want to see a random video of mine, click the mouse icon. Again, thanks for watching, and see you all next time.